Hey guys, Darren here. Welcome to Mayhem Country Living. What are we doing today? We're actually working. We are doing brakes on a 2016 Ford Edge. This goes back into what we talk about maintaining your vehicles, especially with all of the shortages available. Guys, have you gone and priced pads, shoes, oils, filters for your vehicles? Have you asked for availability? It's going to be interesting. I will show you. Spin you around. I'm going to set you down so we're not jiggling all over the place here. And again, 2016 Ford Edge front and rear disc brakes. We're doing the rear brakes. I start at the very back, the furthest from the brake master cylinder, and we're going to pop the top on it in just a second. I've gotten the tire off. I have chocked the tires. You can see I've slid the tire that I took off under it, and I have a safety block under it as well, just because I don't want to die working on a Ford. God help me. Anyway, what we're about to do, the funny thing is, I was out of town, and the hooch called me and we were talking, and she says the brakes are grinding, and I said, well, I guess it's time to change the brakes, because we haven't, gosh, I guess since we bought this thing. And so then there's you run the gamut of ceramic brakes and organic brakes and everything, and we went with the ceramics, but they were out of stock, and they were twice as much, but they were better. And they were out of stock, and they didn't have any idea when they'd get them in. And so it was like, well, okay, no sense in complaining too much. What you got? And so they gave us some just the regular brakes. These are not the OEM, I think it's AC Delco Ford, because they didn't have any of those either. These are Brake Best Premium. We will see, but I have to say it did include all the springs, so that is pleasantly surprising. Now, if you are looking to do any sort of automotive repair or maintenance in the next 6 months, from now until Christmas, go ahead and do it now. Buy it now, set it aside. We went ahead and bought oil and filters for 2 oil changes for both vehicles. It was a little bit more than we planned to spend, but we always have it. I am one of those people, I rely on my vehicle, that one right there, and I do a lot of traveling for work, so I actually keep extra tires on rims aired up, just because I'm that kind of a paranoid person, and I'll roll them out and swap them out as I need to if I can't get new tires. It's just something I do, and it has done very well for us. But we're getting ready to swap the brakes on this thing. It's a disc brake, front and rear. We're going to do the rear. Like I said, we're starting from this side, furthest from the master cylinder. We're going to pop the hood and pop the top on the master cylinder reservoir, and then we're going to get to work on it. So, more to come. Okay guys, we have the hood up. There is the master cylinder reservoir, and we're going to just open it. So we don't forget about it, we're going to set it here. That way we will add it. We're going to clean all this stuff up. Ultimately, it is time to do a tune-up, spark plug change, which is going to be horrific, but that's for another video. Pricing this out, how much would it cost? At a local place, not like a Napa place or anything like that, probably going to be 150, 180 bucks. Depending on what type of brakes you use, whether or not you have to turn your rotors. So We're actually saving a little bit of money. The brake pads that we purchased were 28 bucks because that was the only one they had in the store in the town that I live in. 3 automotive places and 1 set of brakes for the Ford Edge. Now we're going to get started. I'll start giving you what type of tools we're using, and more to come, guys. One thing I will correct, I said AC Delco for Ford OEM replacements. I misspoke, I meant Motorcraft. So they did not have any Motorcraft replacement parts. So, alright, we're about to get started. More to come. Okay guys, we're getting ready to take the caliper off. I'm using 3/8 ratchet with a number 45. Alright, what we're going to do is set her on here. I know that it's going to be tight. So, we have a cheater bar down here, and we're going to see if we can't pop the top one, remove it completely, and then we'll loosen the bottom, and that will help us I'm not going to take this guy out all the way yet until we can remove the bottom one. Now the funky thing about these guys is you will see they have caps on them, and you will spend your time because you will think, well, a lot of times these guys have number 10 bolts to keep them in place, but they do not. These are, hang on, is it Star or Torx? Looks like Star head. Anyway, there's that. Now, we're going to loosen the bottom one. I am not going to turn this rotor because, in my opinion, it does not need it quite yet. And the guy that turns them at the only place in our town doesn't work there. How about that? Because he can make more money sitting at home. How about that? Now, what I'm also going to do before I do anything else, we're going to pause the camera. I'm going to take a picture of this as it sits because these retaining clips are critical for placement. I have new retaining clips. I want to be able to look at them. I could do it on the video, but I'd have to go back and look at the video and look at the video and look at the video. I want to be able to look at this easily. Back in the day when I used to do a lot of hot rods, and we would be replacing motors and doing all the gearhead stuff Friday night to run Saturday night at the drag strip, we would take Polaroid pictures. Fortunately, we have gotten past that because Polaroids were expensive. And when we would also do motor swaps and use older pieces of internal parts, we would use a lot of styrofoam blocks, like for push rods and main bearings and rod bearings, and jam them in there and number them so we would know what we were working with. And I think that is about loose. Now, I'm going to pause. There we go. Yeah, it's pushing out. I'm going to pause this camera. I'm going to take some pictures. Okay guys, also one thing I want to mention. You do one side at a time. That way, if you get lost, if you don't have an internet connection, if you don't have a manual or a book, or didn't take pictures, that way you can jack it up on the other side and look to the other side for comparison. You never, and I know your friends are going to say, well, you do one side and I'll do the other and we'll get it. No, thank you. I love you, but no, thank you. What we're going to do is do one side. If we get lost or miss a step, we're going to jack the other side up and compare the other side to this side. That way we don't do anything wrong. People ask me when I used to race cars and anything, four-wheelers, lawnmowers, as well as, you know, go-karts and all that stuff. People say, well, how fast can you go? And I would always respond and say, well, how fast can you stop? This is serious. Stopping is more important than going fast. And hang on, I got some help out here I want to show you. There we go. There's Pool Chicken coming to help. What do you think, sweetie? I don't want to care. No, I'm not union. Okay, guys, now we're back. I want you to look at this. This retaining spring, we have replacements. Hang on. I want to show it to you. These guys right here. Got brand new ones. They're going to go back in. Don't lose these, but these things will pop. They are under tension. Now, normally I would say wear safety glasses, but I am. And these are actually the ones I wear for work when my contacts won't work, so these are actually safety vision. Get you a good pair of pliers. Pull that off. This was under pretty good tension. Now you can see we've got this guy loose enough to where we can kind of torque it a little bit. So what we want to do, I'm willing to bet you this thing's never been off. Okay guys, we got the caliper off and we've pushed these guys back just to make it easier to go back on next time. You can see this is one of the pads. The back side, not too bad. The front, well, is glued on there. And we are all the way into the brake markers, which those let you know, you'll hear that grinding from these guys to let you know that your brakes need to be changed. So we're going to clean this up a little bit now. We're going to have to push this guy back also. You can use one of these, set it on there, put an old brake pad on there to push it in so we don't damage it, or you can also do that and use one of these. This is for different types, and basically what it would do, hang on, I'll show you. It would fit onto there and slide up into the inserts. There are several different inserts. Hang on, I'll see if I can find the right. There we go. Oh, you go too fast. This is a universal tool. I'm going to say I have seen it from $8 to $15. If you go to one of those places that lets you rent tools for free, you could probably get one pretty easy. I bought this because it seems like I always need the dang thing. This is a little bit better than this because this forces and pushes. This is a screw inside, roundabout. So to me, this is a lot better. More to come. Okay guys, now I just want you to bear in mind, this is the one we took off the back. This one has the retaining spring. This is the new one. It also has the retaining spring. So obviously this is going to go in the back. It's okay, and sometimes you get them confused, but it is all right as long as you've taken pictures or are able to refer to the other side. So this is the other side. That's what we go with on that. And that will take care of it. Now, the thing is, we have to make sure that we have that caliper spread enough to fit both of those on. So, more to come. Okay, making sure we're on. Now, put my finger on this. I want you to see how this compresses in. Use the old brake pad to give you a little bit of a spacer. Also, you don't want to damage the caliper. And you can see we're pushing it in. Even though this one worked initially, kind of quit. I don't want to force this. Now, as we're pushing this, we're forcing fluid back up through into the reservoir on the top. That is why we have popped the top on it. Brake fluid is caustic, so if you get it on any paint or anything, it's going to eat it off. But we are just doing this, and it will self-adjust down after the first or second brake pedal push. And I always drive the vehicles that I do my brakes on. There we go. You can see, again, this is the back one. Some of these are side specific, so make sure you just have to kind of fiddle and fit it, and that will work nicely. We have enough room, so potentially we have enough room to slide our pads on. There we go. We got that one snugged in and tightened up. Remember, we're just working with cast pieces, so don't try to hulk out on them because it could end up damaging a lot of stuff. More to come. Okay guys, I want to show you. This is the retaining spring that we took off. And more than likely it would fit like this. This is the retaining spring, the new one, that came in the brake kit. We're going to put this on here. We're going to save this guy, put it in the bag with our parts. Now, these are side specific and they are directional specific. So, this is going to go here. It's going to go here. Now, we're going to have to get a little bit of help. There we go. And then we're going to just tap it. And that guy is in place. I'm going to make sure that I have everything snugged up. That's good. Because, especially when I'm doing a video, I want to make sure, there we go, that everything is on. There we go. I am not going to worry about these small ridges in this disc, especially since the guy can't turn them because he ain't there. I don't really care. More to come. Okay guys, there's no sense in you watching the other side because you've seen one, you do the other, you just duplicate it. Again, some of these parts are side specific, so make sure they fit. Do make sure that you take a couple of pictures just in case you get lost or turned around. Nothing wrong with that. I've done it 100 times. Other side's the same, just backwards. There you go. If you have any thoughts or comments, post them below. I really appreciate you guys coming along. Is this part of homesteading? Absolutely, because again, this would be a couple $100 that I have to pay somebody. So this can go into our savings to do whatever around the homestead. Take care of you people, guys.